guys, what's up? It's Joe Raiti from Raiti's Rides. We're here at Moss Nissan of North Tampa, and guess what? I have a vehicle here that's going to electrify your pulse. This is a Porsche Taycan 4S. But before we get into Porsche's first EV, let's talk about what's going on here. Porsche, this iconic German brand, has been around for decades. When you think of the amazing models they produced, the Porsche 356, 911, 928, 944, the Boxster, the Cayman, the Macan, the Cayenne. Well, now they've added to their lineup a true EV vehicle, the Taycan. Now, we've already brought to you the top trim, which is going to be that Taycan Turbo S. But what I want to do is I want to feature this Taycan 4S. It's going to slot right underneath. And really, this is that car that's competing against Tesla, competing against the other performance EVs from all those other brands out there. But Porsche says that they're doing it a little different. They're taking all that magic from those different models, from all their race heritage and race history. Remember, Porsche has won the coveted 24 Hours of Le Mans more so than any other brand out there, and they're bringing it to an electric vehicle. So what I want to find out is, there's a little twofer here. Is it worth the price going the Taycan 4S? And also, is this the performance EV that you should be buying over a Tesla or those others that are out there? Let's go ahead, let's dive into our Porsche Taycan 4S and find out. Right off the bat, the styling. I love the way that this car is exactly mimicking the style of that concept vehicle that Porsche unveiled a few years ago. So starting at the front of the business, you're gonna get that great headlight design from Porsche. They do it so well with their LED daytime running lamps, turn signals, headlights, and the way that they kind of sink it into the front of the vehicle. You can see how they extend that fender into the front fascia for aerodynamic efficiency. You're gonna have a massive dual level side air curtain channeling the air. We wanna cheat the air. And then coming across the front, Porsche all day long. It really fits their lineup. It almost looks, if you kind of just look at this midsection here, it almost looks like a 911. And I think that was so smart for Porsche to do so that they don't alienate their traditional customers of their mighty brand. So you'll see that nice curve down. You can see how they have all this aero ability for channeling air. You have that massive splitter that's going to give us functional downforce. You're going to have a forward-facing camera, of course, but really well done on the style and channeling that air and giving us functionality. Now, when we get up onto the hood, remember we have a frunk, just like on a 911. So this is a storage area underneath. You do have the Porsche badge. Love all that history there. The connection to Ferrari, that prancing horse, there is a connection there with Ferrari. Simple, clean lines. Another Porsche trademark. Now, when we come around the bend, on our particular 4S, we have some good options. First of all, we got the performance battery, so that's gonna give us more power, but look what we have for a wheel and tire setup. These are the wheels, the 20-inch wheels off of the Turbo S. Love the style, machined aluminum with the gloss black. You can see those large 6-piston Porsche branded calipers peeking behind. Of course, you're gonna get fully ventilated rotors, adaptive dampers, all 4 corners. You could raise and lower the height of this Taycan, so it really fits in that heritage and style. And I really think that on our particular one, with the red, with these Turbo S wheels, looks absolutely phenomenal. And if you're wondering what's the size of the wheel up front, 245 on the width, 45 series on the sidewall, really just sets it off. And it just sits perfect here, even standing still. Now, the great news is you're gonna have charging doors on both sides. So we have a charging door on the passenger side and a charging door on the driver's side. That's gonna help with the ease of getting this thing charged whenever you need some more juice. Now, going down the side, one of my favorite parts is you have a functional side fender vent here. So Lori's gonna spin it around there and show you how it extends out from the side of the vehicle. One of the sexiest parts of this Taycan, no matter what trim you go with. We're gonna have color match on the mirror caps. We got 360-degree cameras. I like the way they have that flat black side sill extension. Dropping down, we have flush mounted door handles, all about cheating air. My one zonk is the bright shiny metalwork. Why have a performance vehicle, a sporty vehicle, and have this shiny bright metalwork? So we're gonna have to zonk that. I wish that this was like a black chrome or just a straight up gloss black finish, because I think that that kind of just takes away just a little bit. Now up top, you do have a glass roof. It's not an opening roof, not a sunroof, but you do have a full glass roof up top. Coming down the side, you can see those beautiful body lines coming to the rear. Now looking at the rear, you're looking at 285 on the width. Still a 20-inch tire, 20-inch wheel, 285 on the width, 30 series sidewall. You can see the massive calipers there. This is a dual motor setup. So we have a motor driving the rear wheels, motor driving the front wheels. That gives us that all-wheel drive stick and grip that's gonna accelerate this thing really, really quickly. Now coming around the back, Fender. Love the rear fender, just like on a 911, just like on a Porsche Cayman. Coming into the rear, the way they did the taillights, just like the headlights, they kind of sunk them in, brought the bodywork out, and then as we kind of slide across the back, look at the way they did this nice, almost like a computer chip design with the Porsche name in there, your LED lighting, Taycan 4S badge, looking really clean, and then working your way down, you're gonna have this very simple diffuser, nothing meant to look like a fake vent, but definitely everything that looks excellent on a Porsche. And then to top it off, the cherry on this Porsche Sunday is gonna be an adjustable active rear spoiler that actually pops up from this back trunk area. That's gonna give you the downforce, that's gonna give you all that great speed. But why don't we go ahead, let's pop the front, let's pop the back, and talk about power in this Taycan. All right guys, we got that front mounted trunk. The lid popped open, this is a frunk, and like I told you, you are gonna have usable space. So as you can see, you can't see any motors, but what you do get is 2.8 cubic feet of space up front. And just so you know, not all EVs have a front mounted trunk. Some of them put all of the electrical gear up front, and that limits your storage capacity. But this 4S has 2 electric motors, and because we have the 93 kilowatt per hour performance battery, that's gonna give us 563 horsepower, 479 pound-feet of torque. We do have a lithium-ion battery pack, 2-speed transmission, 0 to 60 in about 3.7 seconds. Quarter mile goes by at 12.2 seconds. Top speed, 155 miles per hour. The car weighs around 5,000 pounds. Combined MPGEs are gonna be 70 combined MPGEs. Porsche is claiming a range between 185 to 210 miles. And that is going to be the downfall to the Taycan, is when comparing it to the Tesla lineup, it does not have as long of a range. But one thing to remember, with the Taycan, you will have full power all the way through the charge, whereas with Teslas, they start to degrade the power as the battery degrades from usage. But why don't we go ahead, let's get to the interior and see how the Porsche comes up on top above Tesla and the other EVs. All right guys, we're inside this Porsche Taycan 4S. Just a crazy vehicle. Because of that EV, because of it being a Porsche, it's like the familiarity that you have on the interior, it's just pure Porsche. And I love that about this car. Now I know you're probably saying, well Joe, I've been looking for a top tier EV vehicle. Everybody and their mother, actually my mother does have a Tesla. I don't want one. I'm liking this Taycan. How much is it? So this particular one, asking price is $125,500. Let's see what you get for the money. To the door panels, clean Porsche styling. Soft touch material up top. You're gonna have 3 memory seat settings for the passenger and the driver. I like the way they took that flat gray and kind of just blended it in with the door handle into the trim. Armrest is a little hard. It's not very, very pleasing to the arm, but it does look good. And then the door pocket, big enough maybe for 1 Bavarian pretzel. I wouldn't do 2, and definitely don't go heavy on the salt. We have a Bose sound system, gonna give us that nice clarity to the tunes as you're going down the road. But going from the door panel to the dash, you'll notice a lot of gloss black. The AC vents actually don't have manual controls. Everything is done through the infotainment system. Speaking of infotainment systems, everybody gets one up front. Your passenger has a 10.9-inch system. They could be that backseat driver or side seat driver with their own navigation. You can see all the different functions and features that they have. They could bring up cockpit that allows them to see what speed you're doing and everything. Not so sure if I like that one, but you go back to home, bring up the navigation for them, let them know where you're taking them. As we slide across, you have a second 10.9-inch infotainment system screen. I have displayed for you how you could go into the different modes. So we're definitely gonna go Sport Plus. You could set the chassis height, the chassis settings, and then also your regen braking, and we have that ability to make synthetic sound. I'm gonna leave the sound on because I don't like a totally quiet drive. I need some noise. You'll notice up top, the clock, we have the Sport Chrono package. That is another familiar sight and a nice option on this particular Taycan. And then dropping down, there's more of those AC vents. No, you can't move it manually. You gotta use the infotainment system screen. We have an little bit over 8 inches, 8.4 inch screen here that adjusts your AC controls. You could go into all the different settings. And then I'm gonna have Lori kind of show off how you have a little bit of a pass through here. You could put at least 2 Twinkies, chocolate Twinkies I prefer, in my Taycan. 2 cup holders, Taycan badge, flat black, and I'm okay with it because you're not gonna have a lot of glare. And then what do we got under here? You lift up the armrest, you have 2 USBs, a 12 volt, wireless charging, and enough space for 4 golf balls signed by Tiger Woods before he drove off a cliff. Hard on the armrest, not really digging that, but the seats I love. They look pure Porsche. Wonderful leather, they're perforated, they're ventilated, they're heated. Of course, they're full electric assist, and they really wear, that's one thing, Porsche seats wear so well, it's ridiculous. And then there's that full glass roof. There is an optional kind of stick-in visor. I wish they would have had a screen because here in Florida, I don't want to get roasted in my Taycan. But why don't you come over to the business end? I got a Porsche steering wheel that looks phenomenal I want to introduce you to. All right, guys, business time in the Taycan 4S. What are you greeted to? You're greeted by this wonderful aluminum sill plate with that Taycan 4S name written in it. You have your 3 memory seat settings and all the seat controls easily located. These seats, I'm telling you, they hold you so well without being too vice grip of a squeeze on you. I'm 6 feet tall, I got plenty of headroom in here. Steering wheel, it's a thing of Porsche beauty. Love the thickness, the leather. You have everything hollowed out, each of the spokes hollowed out. You got your drive mode selector switch that you could go through the different modes, the Porsche badge, and then coming to the side over here, you're gonna have your power on button. Now what's interesting is you don't have a key, obviously, to start this up, but they did put the power on button in the same location that they've been putting a key in a Porsche for decades. And it all goes back to the 24 Hours Le Mans. And there's a nice story about that, which I've told you in other reviews. You do have functional buttons built into the screen on the left-hand side for your lighting. And then the screen is actually 16.9 inches and it's curved. You got your navigation in the center. We could go into the different modes like I showed you. You got your shifter, that little shaver of a shifter over here to go into the different direction, whether it's drive, park, neutral, or reverse. That's located right over here on the passenger side. And then if you're looking at your key fob, Porsche does a cool job with their keys. You can actually get this option to be painted the same color, but got all the buttons, the Porsche crest there, and it looks like a Porsche. But why don't we go ahead, enough about the front and all the fun that you could have. Let's get to the back seat and see how your passengers are gonna enjoy going down the twisty bits with full EV. All right, guys, back seat time, and I'm telling you, what I love about this Taycan in the back seat is that the seats are very similar to what's up front. They're gonna hold you in very nicely. There's that glass roof, and you know what? My head isn't even close to it, so definitely gonna have plenty of room, and it actually makes it even more open and airy in here, obviously with a glass roof. But like I said, on those hot summer days when the sun is just shining nice and bright, I think I would want some kind of shade. But let's talk about what's going on back here. One-piece race seat backs, like that style, no pocket. That's okay because look, you got a nice little tray for your peanut M&Ms, maybe some Reese's Pieces, and then you're gonna have a little bit of an area there for some Tootsie Rolls. 2 AC vents, and I'm telling you, it's blowing a lot of air, which is really nice, especially because, like I said, with that glass roof, I feel pretty good sitting back here. You have another tray, easily put, I would say, 6, almost 7 Twinkies. And if you're wondering, well, Joe, is there connectivity? Yes, it's actually under the seat here. You have USBs to connect into, so you're not gonna have your phone die on you or anything like that. And then armrest, not much of an armrest, it's more of a cup holder rest. So you have enough room for 2 cups. Unless your arm is that width, then I would say it's an armrest. So I am gonna zonk that. flip that back. But like I said, the seats are great. Let's get to the trunk, see how much room we have, because I'm ready to go on throttle with some electrification. All right, guys, time to get into the trunk. You're gonna hit this nice button, cleanly integrated electric assist, raises on up. What you're gonna be greeted to is actually a pretty decent width to the opening of the truck. It's 17 cubic feet of space. What you're gonna find is an onboard 150 kilowatt, 400 volt charger, which we have displayed in the charger case for you. There's the actual unit itself. That's a nice touch. You have two nooks that they kind of notched out so you could put that extra box of Twinkies, because remember, you're not stopping for fuel. You gotta have the snacks, and you even have a 12 volt on the passenger side, which is another nice touch. So quite usable when it comes to cargo room, but you know what? It's that time. If you're ready, I'm definitely ready. Let's get electrified together with some on-throttle action in this Porsche Taycan 4S. All right, guys, we're inside this Porsche Taycan 4S. I have it in Sport Plus mode, and we have that sound quality on just to kind of make it feel a little bit more like a traditional car that we drive here on Raiti's Rides with an internal combustion engine. But driving position is pure Porsche. I love the weight of the steering, the directness of the steering. That 16.9-inch curved screen is so easy to see with all the important information and that full navigation. And then you can adjust all these different settings in here, which is so phenomenal. It's all of that great technology that Porsche has developed over the years they brought into this Taycan 4S. Having the two fender peaks as your visual reference point really allow you to have that perfect setup as you're going down your favorite twisty bits to really get that experience of hitting your marks and that familiar experience of driving a Porsche. The way things are laid out in here, it's easy to get to all the screens. The only problem is there's a lot of screens, but with this type of technology, I know that that's something that people are really looking for. All right, guys, a little bit of on throttle here. Coming to a dead stop, nobody behind us. On throttle, here we go. Oh my God. Wow. That's what makes an EV so different than any internal combustion engine car, is that immediate kick of all that torque all at once. And obviously, with the all-wheel drive, gets the power to the ground, and you can actually feel that two-speed transmission shift, and it really gives it that catapulting experience. I mean, just nuts. Here we are cruising down the highway, nice ride, go on throttle, and it just kicks in and you're gone. I mean, absolutely phenomenal with how this vehicle drives and just the intensity of the speed and everything. And then at the end of the day, you're getting great sound deadening quality to it, so it's nice and quiet in the cabin and smooth. And guess what? Right now we're in Sport Plus with everything. You can adjust it to be even more comfortable than what it is. And that's what you're getting when you're going the Porsche route compared to a lot of the other competitors. Really equals to the big picture. All right, guys, let's see how we handle the twisty bits on throttle. Here we go. On the brakes, look at this. Feels good, yeah! Woo! The grip is phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal in this thing. And that's what makes it such a performance-oriented EV. Such a performance-oriented, not just about fast in a straight line, but also the twisty bits. All right, guys, one more time for you. Definitely one more time for me. On throttle, here we go. On the brakes, look at this. Yeah! Nice grip, front to rear. I actually like driving it with the sound on. It just really kind of helps with the whole experience. But I'm hoping that this gave you a well-rounded understanding about what the Porsche Taycan 4S is all about. We're gonna get back to Mas Nissan of North Tampa and wrap this one up, so I'll see you in a split second. All right, guys, it's been an amazing day here at Moss Nissan of North Tampa. I definitely got to thank Matt and the rest of the crew getting us access to this 2020 Porsche Taycan 4S. Really goes to show that if you want an EV, but yet you don't want to lose the great driving dynamics of a true sports car, Porsche has brought a lot of combination into the fold. Let me know what you think. Is it worth the price, this Taycan 4S, or should you be going Tesla or one of the other brands when it comes to their performance EVs? I want to know what you think. Put it in the comment section, but if you want to keep seeing EVs on Raiti's Rides, put that in the comment section as well. If you're new to the channel and you're on your way out, hit that subscribe button. I promise you it's worthwhile. Come back for more. If you are a subscriber, thank you for being part of the Raiti's Rides family. If you want to help us keep making great content just for you on the channel, click the first link in the description, become a Raiti's Rides Patreon member. Click the second link, get yourself some Raiti's Rides merch. Got to give it up to the videographer that electrifies my life, Lori working that camera, the muscle behind the camera. Show her some love in that comment section. She doesn't need a recharge because she's going to keep on working and getting it done. Thank you, Lori, for all that you do. And just like always, guys, I'll see you on the next ride.